Son.
Renata, do you wanna ask them if they go to California? If they do, it would be easier. Because then whoever's talking to just go to California. It would be less. Because the
Yeah, well, that's the thing, since they came back. Like I said, we're running into people, Donna Christian, who works there, not well, the difference, you know, yeah. But at least they're still kicking around. We were just moving to the side. It's only a way to sometimes. Kind of creating my own. Oh, yeah, well, that's. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. Well, I was clear when I did, but then I got to school and I can understand it. Oh. Oh, I remember that time, I remember we covered that fire, the Fearless Lake. Everybody thought you were.
Sometimes people ask about not to go forward. Do you have any concern with that? Just bringing. Sure. Yep.
No.
All good.
You'll blend in.
I'm gonna move it after. No, leave it on until we get started.
Yeah, well,
Because I've got, I was forwarded information on this.
yeah, well,
You would have.
It's the kids that it's like.
You would have somebody who.
Oh, they've moved from
We have got.
people.
This. So, yeah, all of that outlined.
no, not Renata.
So, yeah, you can just be sent to whoever you did at CTV, and they'll get it.
Long time Yeah. Confederacy, number 6. Yeah. Although this is not ours. This is the Confederacy. Here to see what's going on and make sure everybody, whatever Confederacy.
They're looking at possibly bringing a podium. Okay. So we don't have to have juggling mics and there's no audio system.
Several takes.
Just,
Probably not until
wire.
New Year's, because we're gonna
We just split the table in half.
Sounds good, yeah.
This is Orla. She's legal counsel. And then we're all, and then we get the news right. So
And some chiefs are only. Many of
Hey there.
So we'll just split the table.
Oh, that'll work out perfect. Thank you, sir. Do you guys want the mics as well? We have our own mics, so we can just put them there.
You want to slide it right now?
Yeah, then they can just step right out and right into the podium.
Yep, right.
Perfect.
That's right. I've got some good stuff. You can even, bring that way.
Okay, thank you.
But you're gonna speak, aren't you?
That's it. That's it. What you got?
Can you multitask?
What do you want me to do? I can't monitor two of them. What are your providers? There you go. It's on. You can see it.
Yeah, they did one off the mug.
Pretty good.
We're just gonna wait a few minutes. There's a few more coming, will come out before we get started.
CBC's not here yet.
We're on 18, and you see that? Okay, you're fine.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Good, good, good. Good, glad to hear it. It's gonna be very interesting day after this.
I knew it. Oh, yeah. I can't see it. I can't.
And then I heard the tax was an hour away, so I went and played some I'm down for River Creek.
I'm just trying to plug that in. Yes, thank you.
All the meetings, are you guys set up, ready to go?
Can you give it a touch? Sorry.
Are you guys all set up, ready to go?
Yep, it'll work. Sorry about that.
I'm CBC. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Can I give you? I have her phone. Oh, yeah. Okay. So have
Tim's just trying to get in front of me here.
He's blocking my best side.
Are you guys ready to go?
Just go.
Just tell me when.
Just maybe a.
City news right here.
All right.
Is that you that I was talking about before?
Yeah, that's me. Hello.
Just wanted to make sure you're here. Okay.
Blanket here.
My 630. I need my 30.
Do you want to get to the podium?
Right now?
Yes. Okay, so I think we're gonna get started now. We have Olcn Lewis, Chief of Onion Lake Cremation Council, supporting in the background, and legal counsel on this side, and we're here to make an important announcement on Onion Lake's legal position regarding the Alberta Sovereignty Act.
First off, all my relatives, I want to speak to you where we are today as leadership. our people have something in front of our path, and we need to do something about it. Today, we are telling people what we are going to do for both Alberta and Saskatchewan. It's you, the elders, in our communities to pray for us, because it is all going to impact us if we don't do nothing. That's how I greet you.
I greet you all with the bottom of my heart. All the media that were able to make it today. Very important that we communicate what we have to communicate today to show Canada that we are still here as free people. So with that, I've got some briefing notes I'd like to maybe touch on. Olcn Lake has filed a statement of claim as of this morning, December 19, 2022, against Bill 1. Alberta Sovereignty Act. We gathered on Treaty 6 lands today on Enoch Cree Nation to make this important announcement. We want to send a message to the Premier and the government, Alberta government, that these lands are treaty lands and this law directly infringes upon our Treaty Number 6, which is why we decided to take legal action. The peoples of Olcn Lake are the successors of their ancestors who made Treaty 6 with the Crown in 1876 at Waskevensi. Olcn Lake has been monitoring the progress of Bill 1 until it passed into law last week, December 16 to be exact, when the Lieutenant Governor gave its royal assent. We sent letters to the Premier Smith on December 7th expressing our concerns with the bill and asking the Premier to retract the bill and sit down and meet with and discuss the impacts. We have no response from the Premier's office to our letter. We had a delegation of Olcn Lake Cree Nation reps attend the AFN meeting to gain support and to meet with other chiefs and nations who were also in opposition of this bill. On December 12, we collaborated with other treaty nations opposed to Bill 1 and issued a press release, again, stating our opposition. Bill 1 passed without a prior and informed consent of First Nations on December 8, 2022 in Alberta, which is Treaty 6 territory of which Olcn Lake is a part of. We remind Premier Smith that no province has the authority to unilaterally change our treaty relationship, which Bill 1 is attempting to do by ignoring our sovereign jurisdiction and treaty relationship. Our peace and friendship treaties were entered into before the creation of the province of Alberta. The treaties are the law of the lands. As nations, we are deeply concerned that the state of Canada has left such an unconstitutional bill to move forward unchecked, and it has stated that they will only monitor its implementation and its path. Olcn Lake Cree Nation also sees an attempt by the province to grant itself powers to encroach on First Nations treaty rights and natural resources and traditional territories. As treaty people, as treaty nation, we will never allow the provincial governments to hold this amount of unchecked power, to override the promises and undertakings of our treaty that relates to the federal government. It is a blind disregard to the spirit and intent of our treaties and attempt by the provincial governments to separate themselves from the rest of Canada, which is a complete violation of our international treaties that were made with the imperial crown. In addition, to this Bill 88 in Saskatchewan has gone through the second reading, and Oni Lake understands that it seeks to confirm the province's autonomy and exclusive jurisdiction over its natural resources as a pushback against what the Saskatchewan Party government sees as intrusive. Oni Lake Cree Nation will move forward. I'll end off with this very important statement. Oni Lake Cree Nation will move forward with a similar action in the Saskatchewan if Bill 88 is passed by Premier Scott and his cabinet 2023. And with this, I thank you, and those are my brief remarks. And we have our legal counsel. If you have any legal questions, I'm going to have to refer to it, our legal. And with that, I also like to call upon one of my counsel, a lady, because I want to hear a lady's perspective. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Tansin wa kumagantik. Di ka na nas kumawagitawin no. Siya watsu. Minagutan isigawin mga pati. Wala utang.
I thank Creator and His for bringing us together to come and talk about how it has always been done before in the past. We as First Nations people have always been here. We have always been first here. Our Mother Earth.
Turtle Island. Siga so exigi siga tati. Tuni pene kois hikimatu tik exining no.
Our people lived well with no restrictions to hunt, fish. They went freely. That is what I want to talk about. Our elders in the past. Our ancestors have talked about the people who came. They came to our lands.
Neogi sigao Egyptic, egagi sumotic, epitatic, uspagan na Theopinatic, Tansumacagis, I see Gatacuma, ape paximotic. Gigi to Gito Gmasco, with Westamagua, Egipate Sahar,
Queen had said,
Magigwe, Eugipiguna, Ito as Kimoyutna. We
don't want to take the land. We just want enough to farm. The water, they would make a well. And they left everything. The trees would be ours. But today, they don't. They just take without asking.
I want to say in English now that what I just said here briefly, I don't know if I could summarize everything. However, before the settlers came across the waters, our people, First Nations people, were the first people to this land here. We were the landowners. Mother Earth, Gawi Nanaski, we called Mother Earth Turtle Island. We roamed the land, we hunted, we gathered, everything was there for us to survive. We had the water, we had the trees, we had the plants, we had everything to survive, and we roamed the land. We didn't have to go against any rights. We had nobody had any rights over us. We had our natural laws that govern our people. Those are unwritten laws that we still have today, and we still follow them. So what I want to say is that we are still here, and I speak on behalf of our Mother Earth here. You know, she is our Mother Earth. Everything that we use today comes from her. The medicines, the plants, the berries, the water. For basic survival, she provides that for us. When the people crossed the waters that time, the Queen's representatives came over, and they came to consult with our elders, our people that time. And when they consulted, it took them 4 days, 4 nights to meet and talk about what it is that they wanted from us. It didn't happen just, just one day, one meeting. It was 4 days, 4 nights. They smoked the pipe, they had ceremonies, and then the Queen's rep had said to our people back then, we did not come here to take the land on you. All we want and all we're asking for is one foot for us, for agriculture. We don't come here to take the water from you. All we need is water, enough to make a well so that we can have water. The trees, we don't come to take them from you. We just want the trees so that we can build houses for ourselves, homes. Everything else will belong to you, is what they said. Now today, look at where we're at today. Now we're fighting for what was ours with no consultation. We are still here today. We're still alive, and we're open to communication, consultation. We still have our elders today, and they're sitting in the back over there. All these teachings have been passed down to us, oral tradition, oral teachings, and we still follow them. So this is where we're coming from. This is where I'm coming from. I speak from the heart today. We are here, we are alive, and we are still willing to work with the government according to the treaties that were promised to us. Those treaties, they made a promise. When they smoked the pipe and when they made that final decision, the elder that had the pipe said, here, hold this pipe, to that Queen's representative. When you hold this pipe, then that confirms that's the agreement that we have. And that's how it happened. So, no consultation today, and that's why we stand here today. I am here for Anialay Cree Nation and the many generations to come, because there are many generations yet to come. So I speak on their behalf, as well as all of Treaty 6 territory. I thank you.
Good afternoon. At just after 10:30 this morning, Anialay Cree Nation commenced a statement of claim in the Court of King's Bench of Alberta here at Edmonton. The basis of that statement of claim is founded on the treaty relationship spoken about by Olcn Lewis just prior to Anialay Cree Nation's elders as well. The claim is based on the treaty relationship between Anialay Cree Nation and the Crown. It is also based and founded upon Anialay Cree Nation's unextinguished sovereignty and inherent jurisdiction. Regarding the enactment of the Alberta Sovereignty Act, in the course of legislative debate upon Bill 1, it was noted by several honorable members that no consultation had apparently been done with any First Nation in respect of Bill 1. That Bill 1 and the manner in which Bill 1 was passed was itself an infringement of treaty rights. Bill 1 gave the Lieutenant Governor and Council the power to fundamentally rewrite legislation without the legislature. Bill 1 invoked the doctrine of interjurisdictional immunity in areas of clearly overlapping federal and provincial jurisdiction. And it effectively circumvented Section 9124 of the Constitution Act 1867, which delegates jurisdiction with respect to, and this is the rubric of the original legislation, Indians and land reserved for Indians, exclusively to the federal government. Now, some of the grounds upon which Onion Lake Cree Nation states that the Alberta Sovereignty Act infringes upon treaty rights and derogates from the treaty relationship include the fact that the Alberta Sovereignty Act infringes upon the rights of the plaintiffs' peoples to pursue their traditional ceremonies, associations, and avocations such as hunting, fishing, and trapping, as spoken about just now by elders of Onion Lake as well as by Olcn. And it does so through the effective derogation of the plaintiff's sovereignty and jurisdiction in favor of the Lieutenant Governor and Council of Alberta, which for all practical purposes amounts to the Premier's office. The Alberta Sovereignty Act derogates from reciprocal promises that were made in the treaty, and it effectively substitutes those reciprocal promises again with the rule exclusively by the Lieutenant Governor and Council for Alberta. The Alberta Sovereignty Act also negates the guarantees of livelihood and freedom. So that's the promises that were made within the treaty. And they were the promises that the treaty was made to protect. It wrests control of all treaty rights and the treaty relationship from the Crown and right of Canada to the Lieutenant Governor and Council of Alberta. And finally, and most significantly within the context of this recent enactment, the Alberta Sovereignty Act was enacted wholly without the input, consultation, or consideration of the plaintiff's concerns. That's Onion Lake's concerns. Again, contrary to the spirit of treaty, and as we state, in derogation of the honor of the Crown. Now, apart from these particular grounds, there are also arguments within the claim that the Alberta Sovereignty Act is outside of the jurisdictional competence of the Government of Alberta, and further that the Alberta Sovereignty Act, in being enacted without any consultation, is in of itself repugnant to the treaty. Article 19 of the United States Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples states that states, that is Canada or Alberta as the case may be, shall consult and cooperate in good faith with the Indigenous people concerned through their own representative institutions in order to obtain their free, prior, and informed consent before adopting and implementing legislative or administrative measures that may affect them. The letter and spirit of the treaty is recognized and affirmed by Section 35 of the Constitution Act requires the consent of Onion Lake first had and obtained in any Crown conduct, and that's federal or provincial, that affects or potentially affects Onion Lake Cree Nation's treaty and Aboriginal rights, and in particular, their rights pertaining to the land. The Alberta Sovereignty Act was introduced by the Premier, Danielle Smith, and assented to by the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta without any consultation with Onion Lake Cree Nation's leadership or any of its people. There's no evidence within the legislative debates or elsewhere of consultation with any of Onion Lake's leadership or any of its people. And finally, Onion Lake Cree Nation states within this claim that this complete lack of consultation with respect to the Alberta Sovereignty Act constitutes a breach of its treaty and its constitutional rights, independent of any of the other breaches and infringements that may occur as a result of the enactment of this legislation. Onion Lake Cree Nation is seeking a declaration that the Alberta Sovereignty Act unjustifiably infringes upon and derogates from treaty. Onion Lake is seeking a declaration that the Alberta Sovereignty Act is of no force and effect. Onion Lake Cree Nation is seeking temporary and permanent injunctions, declaring the Alberta Sovereignty Act or parts thereof inoperative as against Onion Lake or its people, and such further and other relief as the Court of King's Bench may be inclined to grant. Those are my remarks in respect of the statement of claims filed on behalf of Onion Lake Cree Nation this morning. I thank Olcn for having us present to speak to the particulars of that claim. And if there's any question from media, you know where to find me. Thank you.
Would we certainly get your name, spelling, and title just on for us, just so we have that?
My name is Michael March, M-A-R-C-H, like a month, and then Echo November. I'm counsel along with Mr. Olcn, Queen King's Counsel, with Olcn and Company, and we're counsel for